For more than half a century, across millions of acres of farmland stretching throughout the United States, farmers have maintained a familiar production rhythm: cutting, drying, and baling hay. Each year, more than 120 million tons are harvested, making hay one of the 3 largest crops in the United States, behind only corn and soybeans. But the value of hay goes far beyond the scale of production. It is also an essential feed source for the American livestock industry, where millions of cattle, horses, sheep, and goats depend on this source of nutrition throughout the seasons. And behind these seemingly ordinary fields lies a massive industry that few people truly know about. Behind America's livestock industry, valued at more than $400 billion, is a seemingly ordinary source of feed: hay. Every year, millions of hay bales also cross the ocean to Japan, South Korea, China, and the Middle East. So how does the United States harvest, bale, and transport this enormous volume of hay? Let's step into these vast fields and explore the entire journey. And if you enjoy massive machines and modern agriculture, don't forget to like and subscribe to join us. The journey of every bale of hay actually begins long before the first mowers enter the fields. Across the United States, hay is primarily produced from 2 main groups of crops. The first and most prominent is alfalfa, a legume with deep roots, distinctive purple flowers, the ability to fix nitrogen from the air, and a higher protein content than most other forage crops. Alfalfa is often considered the king of hay, accounting for about 40% of total U.S. hay production. The rest comes from various grasses such as timothy, orchard grass, Bermuda, fescue, and brome, grown widely from flat pastures to prairies and mountainous regions across the United States. What makes hay different from many other crops is that farmers do not need to replant it every year. An alfalfa field can remain productive for 4, 5, or even 6 consecutive years, while some grass fields remain in use for decades. Even more remarkably, the same field can be cut and harvested multiple times in a single season. In the northern states, a field is typically cut about 3 times per year. Meanwhile, in California's irrigated valleys and the desert regions of the Southwest, farmers may harvest 7, 8, or even 9 cuttings of alfalfa in the same year. Each cutting essentially begins a new harvest, and the hay must remain in the field for 1 to 3 days, so its moisture content can drop from more than 70% to around 15% before moving on to the next stage. The hay needs to be dry enough for safe storage, but it must not become too dry because the nutrient-rich leaves can become brittle, fall off, and be blown away by the wind. During the time it lies drying in the field, the quality of the hay depends almost entirely on the weather. Just one heavy rain after cutting can ruin the results of weeks of work. Mold, damage, and discoloration can develop quickly, causing the value of the entire crop to fall sharply, even losing half its value overnight. That is why farmers monitor the weather as carefully as pilots tracking a storm. They constantly check forecasts, satellite images, and moisture conditions for the days ahead. When the skies are clear and the ground is dry enough, a period known as the haymaking window, the entire fleet of machines begins moving into the field. Leading the way is the mower conditioner, which begins the harvesting process. This is considered one of the most impressive machines in modern agriculture. From a distance, it looks like a giant red, green, or yellow machine gliding steadily across the field. Depending on the farm, some versions are pulled behind tractors, while larger models can operate on their own. Others are self-propelled machines, controlled from a high-mounted cab that gives the operator a clear view of the terrain ahead. At the front is a cutting unit measuring 12, 14, or even 16 feet wide, using high-speed rotating discs or reciprocating blades. This system cuts the hay close to the base of the stems with speed and precision far beyond traditional hand cutting with a scythe. But cutting the hay is only half of this machine's job. Immediately after being cut, the hay passes through a pair of specialized conditioner rollers. The rollers gently squeeze, crimp, and create small cracks in the stems while minimizing damage to the leaves. This is a stage that few people notice, yet it is considered one of the smartest and most effective innovations in modern hay harvesting technology. But the harvesting journey is not over yet. To help the hay dry quickly and evenly, the cut material needs to be turned and loosened. This is when the tedder enters the field with multiple rotating rotors fitted with long curved tines. As it moves, the machine lifts the hay from the ground, gently tosses it into the air, and spreads it back down in a wider, looser layer. This allows the damp hay underneath to be exposed to sunlight and wind, helping the drying process move faster. When the hay approaches the proper moisture level, the rake arrives to gather it into long, clean, uniform windrows. Everything is now ready for the most impressive stage, baling, where the baler becomes the center of the entire harvest. In the United States, balers are mainly divided into three types, each producing a different shape and size. The first is the small square baler, the traditional type that produces rectangular bales weighing about 50 to 80 pounds. These are the bales commonly stacked on farm trailers and are convenient for feeding horses or small herds by hand. The second type is the round baler. Hay is continuously rolled by a system of belts and rollers inside the baling chamber, becoming more tightly compressed until it forms a massive cylindrical bale nearly the size of a small car and weighing up to 2,000 pounds before being released from the rear of the machine. Finally, the type increasingly dominating commercial farms is the large square baler. These massive machines compress hay into uniform rectangular blocks, packed tightly like giant bricks, making them convenient for stacking, transportation, and storage. Each large square bale can weigh up to 1,500 pounds and can easily be stacked like giant Lego blocks, making them highly convenient for truck transportation and export. As the baler travels along the windrow, the wide pickup unit at the front continuously lifts the hay into the machine, operating much like the header of a combine harvester. Inside the baling chamber, pistons, rollers, or belts continuously compress the hay into an increasingly dense block. Once the bale reaches the required size, the automatic system immediately secures it with twine or net wrap. The completed bale is then pushed out from the rear while the machine continues moving forward with almost no need to stop. Modern large square balers can complete approximately 1 bale per minute and maintain that pace for many hours. As the machine passes through the field, the landscape gradually becomes covered with hundreds, sometimes thousands, of hay bales neatly resting on the ground, creating a spectacular scene stretching across the vast countryside. After baling, the collection stage quickly begins. Tractors, forklifts, loaders, and specialized bale stackers move across the field, loading the hay onto trucks or trailers. On large farms, automated equipment can handle 8, 10, or even 12 bales at a time before transporting them back to storage. Proper storage is especially important because hay that becomes wet after baling can develop mold, deteriorate, or build up enough heat to cause a fire. For this reason, many American farms use barns that stretch hundreds of feet in length. Inside, the bales are stacked 20, 30, or even 40 feet high, forming massive stacks of hay with a total weight reaching millions of pounds. Others are stored outdoors beneath heavy tarps or arranged in stacks designed to shed rainwater. For hay intended for export, the journey continues at specialized compression facilities. Hydraulic presses use tremendous force to reduce the volume of the bales by half or more, after which they are secured into dense blocks that fit efficiently inside ocean shipping containers. But this is still not the end of the journey. These hay bales will continue onto livestock farms or cross the ocean to major markets around the world. If you find this journey interesting, like and subscribe to join us as we explore what comes next. Every fall across the southern states of the United States, massive harvesting machines roll into dusty fields, beginning the process of bringing millions of pods hidden beneath the soil to the surface. Row after row of plants is lifted, the dry soil breaks apart, and thousands of peanut pods suddenly appear. But these are not potatoes. They are peanuts, one of America's valuable crops, supplying raw materials for the snack food, vegetable oil, confectionery, and peanut butter industries across the country. But behind these familiar peanuts lies a massive production system that few people have ever witnessed firsthand. Let's step into America's large-scale peanut harvest, where millions of tons of crops are pulled from beneath the ground using one of the most distinctive farming methods in the world. The story begins months before the machines arrive. Across Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Texas, and North Carolina, farmers prepare fields covering thousands of acres. Unlike corn or wheat, peanuts grow well in loose, sandy, fast-draining soil. When spring arrives, seeds are planted in long rows. Just a few weeks later, the plants cover the ground in green, and small yellow flowers begin to appear, signaling that a remarkable process is taking place beneath the soil. Then a unique process begins. After each flower is pollinated, a small stem known as a peg forms and gradually grows downward into the soil. This stem continues developing beneath the surface, where the peanut pods and seeds slowly begin to form. So while the stems and leaves flourish above ground, the actual crop quietly develops beneath the soil. For several months, farmers must monitor the fields very closely. Too much rain can damage the root system, while too little water can reduce yields. Weeds, insects, and diseases must also be controlled in time. But the most important factor is choosing the right moment to harvest. Dig too early, and the peanuts will not be fully mature. Wait too long, and the pods may separate from the plants and remain underground. That means a single mistake in timing can cost farmers thousands of pounds of peanuts per acre. When the peanuts reach the proper maturity, harvest begins. The first machine to enter the field is the peanut digger. Sharp digging blades travel beneath the root zone, breaking through the soil and lifting the entire plant, along with the peanut pods, out of the ground. The machine continues shaking the plants to remove soil from the roots, then turns them upside down so the peanut pods face upward and are exposed to the air. As the machine moves forward, the plants are arranged into long, even rows behind it, known as windrows. This is the first impressive moment of the harvest. After only a few passes of the machine, millions of peanuts that had been hidden underground are now lying in long strips across the field. Clouds of dust rise behind the equipment, revealing the entire crop. But the peanuts are still not ready because they contain too much moisture immediately after being dug from the soil. If they were placed into storage immediately, the peanuts could spoil, develop mold, and lose value, so they are left in the field for several more days. Sunlight, wind, and dry weather naturally reduce their moisture content while the vines remain around the pods. This is a critical stage because rain, high humidity, or storms can slow the process and affect quality. That is why harvest season is always a race against the weather. Once the moisture reaches the proper level, the second stage of harvesting begins. The peanut combine travels along the windrows, lifting the dried plants from the ground. Inside, rotating systems separate the pods from the stems and leaves. Powerful fans blow away lighter material, and screens remove remaining debris. Finally, the clean peanuts are transferred into the machine's storage tank. The harvesting speed is truly impressive. A modern machine can process thousands of pounds of peanuts per hour. On large farms, several machines operate side by side from early morning until evening. When the storage tank is nearly full, tractors and hauling carts move alongside the harvester, receiving peanuts directly while both machines remain in motion, allowing the harvest to continue with almost no stopping. The peanuts are then transferred into large trucks waiting at the edge of the field. From here, the harvest enters the logistics stage. Convoys of trucks continuously leave the farm, transporting freshly harvested peanuts to receiving stations and drying facilities. During the peak season, roads throughout peanut growing regions are often busy with trucks and trailers loaded with crops. The flow of trucks almost never stops. At buying points and receiving facilities, each batch of peanuts is sampled, tested for moisture, inspected for foreign material, and evaluated for kernel maturity. Only batches that meet the required standards move on to the next stage. Some peanuts are sent into drying systems, where warm air passes through the pods to reduce moisture to a safe level. Another portion is transferred directly to specialized storage facilities, where conditions are controlled to maintain quality before processing. These facilities can hold enormous volumes of peanuts, ranging from storage bins and silos to massive warehouses spread across the southern United States. But this is only the end of the harvesting stage. The real transformation is still ahead. From storage, the peanuts are transported to shelling plants where high-capacity mechanical systems break open the shells and quickly separate the kernels inside. Shell fragments and dust are removed, and the kernels are then sorted by size, color, and quality using optical scanners. The highest quality kernels are reserved for the snack market, while another portion moves on to the roasting stage. Some peanuts are sent to confectionery factories, while another large portion is used for peanut butter production. Here, the kernels are continuously roasted, cooled, blanched to remove their skins, and then ground into a smooth mixture. Once blended to the proper consistency, the peanut butter is pumped into packaging lines capable of processing thousands of jars per hour. It all begins with peanut pods that were once hidden deep beneath the soil. Just a few weeks after leaving the ground, these peanuts can appear on store shelves across the United States. Remarkably, almost nothing goes to waste. Peanut shells can be used for animal bedding, gardening materials, fuel, absorbents, and industrial raw materials. The plant vines can also be baled for livestock feed, composted, or returned to the soil, making the entire production chain more efficient and economical. Technology continues to take this process to a new level. Modern tractors use GPS to maintain straight rows and reduce overlapping passes, while yield monitoring systems track performance across different areas of the field. Soil sensors support irrigation management, while storage facilities use automated fans and moisture control. At processing plants, cameras, robots, and data analysis improve sorting accuracy, making every stage faster, cleaner, and more efficient. Even as technology becomes increasingly precise and advanced, machinery still cannot completely determine the success of the harvest. Farmers must continuously monitor the weather because just 1 week of rain during harvest can delay digging and affect quality. On the other hand, hot weather combined with dry winds can cause the peanut vines to dry too quickly. Fuel costs, labor, transportation, and fluctuations in market prices also directly determine the profitability of each season. And it is these pressures that make peanut harvest season so unique. Unlike corn or wheat, which are clearly visible above the ground, the most valuable part of the peanut plant remains hidden beneath the soil until harvest day. After months of care, massive machines have only a short window of time to bring millions of tons of peanuts out of the ground. From the sandy fields of Georgia to food processing plants across the United States, the entire journey is a combination of agriculture, logistics, and industrial production. Peanuts are dug, dried, transported, sorted, and processed before becoming familiar products on store shelves. That is how America transforms a crop hidden beneath the soil into a massive production industry. If you enjoyed this journey, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next stories about the farms, factories, and machines powering modern agriculture. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.